So here I have an anomaly. A game I do not win. I know, shocking. I think it's actually the first time I've actually recorded a game that I didn't win. But it's such a great game, and my deck actually gave me exactly the tools to win it. I make one tiny mistake at the very, very end that proves to be crucial. We will see how it unfolds, provided the replay cooperates. He's playing Radha. Pretty mediocre commander in my opinion, but maybe it's the best red-green one. I don't even know if there are any other. I guess the Roshin Meander is pretty good. This thing's decent. I mean, you have a mana elf on turn 2, right? That's always good. But he gets to go first. I have a pretty decent ramp draw, actually, with Fabricate. First few turns are kind of mundane here. Get Azami and this thing out of here. That noise in the background is Desmond watching the Pink Panther on YouTube. So his commander comes down. Let's move for 1. Based on the way my replays have been going lately, I suspect this will not run to the conclusion, but we can hope. So I got 2 land and Sea Scryer. Provided he doesn't have an answer to the Sea Scryer, it's looking pretty solid here. He's got Jitte. Fortunately, he's playing with Terramorphic Expanse in a 2-color deck, which is totally horrible in my opinion. This is a prime example of why the game I lose this game automatically if that is a regular land that doesn't come into play tapped, because he just equips Radha, kills Scryer, and I'm stuck at 2 land for infinity. Because I just draw Condescend, but that gives me at least time. I need a land so bad here. I would have been able to Fabricate for Mana Crypt, cast Mana Crypt, and cast Power Stone or Coalition Relic. But anyway, I play Worn Power Stone. So I'm just going to sit here and get screwed by Jitte for a while. And he plays additional problems for me. Mono blue guy against blue guy against mono blue. Not the end of the world, but I'm falling very, very rapidly behind. And he's got this thing out too, so we can actually activate it next turn. Because he's got a counter on the Jitte. I still have not drawn another land. So I'm just going to ramp. Play Relic, sit on Muddle and Condescend. I mean, obviously, I'm behind here in terms of board development, but my mana is excellent. So at least I have that going for me. A lot of outs. What I really want is a 3rd island at this point, so I can steal the Great Sable Stag and get a permanent blocker to the whatever creature he throws Jitte on. Unfortunately, I do not draw another island for a while, as this deck seems to have perpetual mana issues. Can't even counter that. I thought actually for a little while about condescending it, not only to dig for an island, but also to get him to tap Radha, so he can't charge his Jitte even further. Ultimately, I decided that I wanted to save the condescend for something more deadly, maybe like what's in here. And I'm kind of thinking about the whole Cyclonic Rift plan anyway, which is a few turns away and makes this thing less of a threat. So I charge. And I get into the Royal, which is really nice right now, actually. So after some contemplation, I realized that just casting Azami here is probably ideal, just to draw some fire, get him to maybe throw counters off the Jitte, slow him down a bit, and I can draw a couple extra cards. I'm just basically trying to buy time, and I've got this defense here still. I really just want to like get more islands so I can Fabricate into Shackles and try to get some board control. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Well, he sends in his team, and I expect him to actually just remove counters right away so I can't even chump block Radha, which is obviously what I do. But instead he has Punishing Fire, which is a fantastic combo with Jitte, of course. I don't even have that luxury, but I do hit Treachery. So suddenly, I have some serious options. I can grab a hold of this monstrous dude and use it to block his other guys. So, and he cooperates really nicely. At the end of his turn, he charges his, during the combat step, he uses Jitte to pump his guy twice, which is very debatable against an opponent that has creatures, because I obviously do because I'm playing wizards. He pumps his guy just to get in more damage, and that allows me to into the Royal, his commander, and take no damage, and effectively reset the Jitte. Pretty awesome, actually, and draw a card in the process, which is my third island. So he just plays Rada, casts this thing, and obviously the whole Shackles plan goes right out the window with this dude out, which is terrible, because with it and Jitte I can't really steal anything permanently, and the Jitte can just melt my guys that I steal while he's beating me in the face for 8 or 10 a turn. But this is a huge turn. This is where I'm like so punished for not having more islands. Like literally if I had one more island in play, this game can wind up so much differently. So Treachery is huge guy. Yeah, and I muddled to go get Jitte, to kill his Jitte. I could have gotten Copy Artifact, and in retrospect that was probably a better plan, because certainly having a live Jitte in my deck is better than having a Copy Artifact in my deck. But I get the Jitte. Oops. Anyway, kills it off. And I've got this 5/4 guy in play. Unfortunately, the tracker makes the math very complicated, given that if I block, say, the Stag, and he fights Rada into the Vorpede, then he gets it back with a counter on it, which is bad. He taps out instead to cast Charmbreaker Devils, even before he attacks, so he doesn't even... I mean, obviously, if he attacks with the Stag, I have to take it, because I can't block and let him kill my guy. Fortunately, he casts a big 6-mana Dork, which allows me to remand and draw more cards, hopefully to get more islands. So I thought a long time here about going to Fabricate to get Shackles to steal this guy, and in retrospect, looking back on the game, I think that probably would have been the right play. Thinking about it in the long term, simply because having the creature out doesn't really help me that much because of this guy. But then I realized, oh wait, I can go get Sword of Feast or Famine, which will allow me not only to put him on a clock, but will effectively double my mana. Really wish I'd drawn more islands. So I have enough mana, I go get Sword of Feast or Famine, play my Felwar Stone, and equip. And smash. And I've got Vigilance, which is really nice too on this guy. So now I'm hitting him for 7 a turn and making him discard. And I've got 4 land available. He drew a land at a perfect time right there to cast this thing. Obviously, I would have condescended this thing in a heartbeat, but unfortunately, he's got exactly enough mana, 1, 2, 3, to dodge my condescend. And this proves critical also. It gives him not only a red creature to block this thing, but also so I throw out my thing and look at his hand. He's got Charmbreaker Devils, which I make him discard. Time to untap the vault. So I equip Sword of Feast or Famine on this thing, and he actually lets it go. He had the ability to shoot in response, and he does not do it. So now it's immune to the tracker, which is kind of nice. So he fights my guy at the end of the turn using his Stag. So he sends in his whole team here. Takes me to 12. And that's obviously in an effort to activate Spine Rock Knoll. And block and kill the Hellrider and take a shitload of damage. And then he casts Decimate. Totally horrible card. But in this circumstances, it's pretty good, given that I've got an enchantment and an artifact, and a land, and, well, there's superfluous creatures in play. Fortunately, I have enough mana to condescend it. And on top, I've got Strip Mine and Patron Wizard. So I I opt to keep the Patron Wizard. My plan right now is to basically just try to gum up the ground and use Azami for as long as I can while hitting him for 7 a turn. So neither of us has any cards in hand, but I'm about to draw extras. Patron Wizard comes down, so does Azami. I can hit for 7. God, this thing is such a pain in the ass. I don't know how different the game would have been if I had gotten Shackles to steal it. I think it would have been pretty different, though. So he just draws a land. He trackers my Patron Wizard, draws me a card. Just a stupid island. And when he doesn't attack and has nothing, I figure like I'm going to win this game now, even though I'm at 5. So here's the critical misplay. I play Future Sight. Mox Opal on top of my deck. God damn it. Oh, so bad. Because had I done just one simple little thing, that's right, I put this sword on Azami last turn in order to protect it from the tracker and use it as a potential blocker as well. So I think and he'd have to shoot before combat, so I could use Vorapede to block his 3/3 without having to worry about tracker shenanigans on it. So there you go. I cast Mox Opal off the top without holding down control. And there's a stupid Daze on top. Probably the only counter in my entire deck, actually, that wouldn't be effectively a hard counter against his next turn. So that's obviously why I didn't think to do it. There's no reason not to, of course, so I can always respond to my own spell. But yeah, if I think I can actually probably just return an island in my hand for free. So I equip, smash for 7 again. This is such a dicey board position here. But yeah, here we go. So he casts Harmonize. And in retrospect, it was probably stupid to daze it too. Well, I don't know. Actually, I guess it made sense to daze. I just hard cast the daze. There's the Polluted Delta, so I'd have been able to play that next turn, or last turn if I had cast my daze in response. I'd play the Delta. He draws 3. Trackers Azami. I draw with it. There's a Chrome Mox, which I would have been able to play for free. Casts a Bird of Paradise for some random reason. And attacks, making 2 mana. And bolts me. So off the Harmonize, he drew a Lightning Bolt. Perfect timing. And boy, is the top of my deck good. So, the top of my deck after Chrome Mox was in order. Venser, followed by Trinket Mage, followed by Memory Lapse. So basically, I would have gone Chrome Mox, let it die, cast Venser, bouncing, I don't know, I guess the Tracker, cast Trinket Mage, see Memory Lapse on top and let it go. So I don't actually use Trinket Mage's ability. And on his turn, he draws Harmonize. I Memory Lapse it, and that's game for sure. Instead, I lost because of that little misplay. And I probably made a few other small errors earlier in the game, but that was a critical one that I will not repeat again. Hope you enjoyed the game.